Hey guys, this is Laura
and Nicolas.
And if you've been following us, you know that we are road tripping in Europe with a camper van. And you guys have been asking tons of questions about van life in Europe. So we decided to make one video where we just answer all your questions.
So welcome to our van life Q&A.
I just have a bunch of questions over... Oh. Just have a bunch of questions from you guys over here, so we'll just go through them. We bundled them together, to just answer as much as possible. Okay, so the first question that we got is, where did we rent this camper van? If we bought it, questions like that.
We did not buy it. It's something we would like to do, but we did not. We rented it from a company here in Belgium called Vanlife. It's probably the market leader here in Belgium when it comes to selling or renting camper vans. The model we rented is a Westphalia Kepler 6, so it's about the same size as your typical Volkswagen van.
Yeah.
But just a little bit better and more luxurious and more comfortable, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so second question, how do we find all those amazing campsites? So first of all, we do have an app called Park4Night. Can we link it below?
We can link it below.
We will link it below, so you guys can just click on it and use that app as well. But we honestly also just find campsites by accident. It sounds super weird, but honestly we do. We just drive past a campsite and it looks super cute, and then we just stop and then we're like, okay, let's sleep here tonight. And most of the time we will still do something in the neighborhood, so we just find it in the afternoon.
If you want a list of all the campsites we stayed at, we will write a blog post about it. We have written a blog post about it, actually. Yes. You can find it in the description down below as well. There will be so many links in the description. There will be so many links,
no, but you will find it on our blog if you're interested in finding all the campsites that we stayed at.
www.passportinonehand.com.
Okay, so next question. How do you shower?
That's a question we've been getting a lot.
People really think that we don't shower or what?
Gross. So we actually have a small little shower in the back. It's an outdoor shower, so you just plug a hose into the backside of the van and then you attach a sprinkler head on top of your roof, and there's some cold water running out. Yeah. We use that in case of emergency, so I used it twice. Yeah. It's perfect after a beach day. Exactly. And you just want a quick little rinse. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's super hot. It's just nice.
But for our actual showers where we wash ourselves, we actually we shower in campsites, and we will show you how that looks.
We will show you now in a little video. Okay, so we're now in the cemetery blocks. I hope there's no one here, because otherwise it's just so weird to film here. This is it. So this is where we shower. So it's actually quite okay. I mean, this is a shower, just like a normal shower. So you can just lock the door. So yeah, and then you have sinks here. So in some campsites, you also have these sinks in separate places like this. So sometimes you just have the shower together with the sink, for example. So you have a little bit more privacy than here. So it just depends on campsite. So yeah, so that's how we shower, how we go to the toilet and everything. So then we're going to bundle a few questions. So people have been asking, did you bring a scooter with you? Did you rent a scooter? How do you go from your campsite to a city, and questions like that.
We did not bring a scooter. We did not bring a bike.
No, nothing. So we always had to rent a scooter, or we used public transport. So for example, in Amalfi Coast we used a scooter.
In Amalfi Coast we stayed on the same campsite for a week, so we decided to rent a scooter for a week and just go to all these different places by scooter, and it was amazing. It was such a good decision. Yeah. If we visited a city where we only stayed on a certain campsite for one night, we wouldn't do the hassle of renting a scooter, and we would just take public transport. We took buses, we took trams, we took trains, we took metros. I mean, we took it all, and especially in Italy, it was so easy.
Yeah, most of the time we just made sure that when we were visiting a city like Florence or Rome, just made sure that we had a campsite which had pretty good connections with the city, with public transport.
There was always a bus stop right in front of the campsite.
Because I mean, Kepi is, we call our van Kepi. Kepi is quite small, so that's a big advantage, because in most cities, smaller cities, or
even bigger cities, you can park everywhere.
Yeah, you can park everywhere.
I mean, we
actually.
parked in underground parking garages in
Would
Monaco.
not recommend that.
Would not recommend, but I mean, it fits. Kepi fits almost everywhere. Yeah. The thing is, we have lots of valuable stuff in our van. We have 2 laptops, camera gear, drone, wedding dresses, our hard drive with all our pictures on it. So we just
decided that it would be safer
if we left our van on a campsite and took public transport.
Exactly. So that's like one of the reasons. But Kepi does fit in a lot of parkings.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next question. What is the most difficult or unpleasant thing about it? What are like the pros and cons?
For me, I'm fine with the lack of space. I thought that was going to be an issue, but I actually learned to live together with you on a very small space.
I mean, we already did this before in Australia, so I think that makes a big difference, because I remember the first week in Australia, it was horrible.
Yes, because you try to do the same thing together and you just bump into each other. And, and you want to do the dishes together, but that's just not how it works in a van. One person does the dishes, and then once the dishes are done, like the other one dries.
Yeah, one person can cook at a time. Like, don't try to cook together. So those are like thing in the beginning, like in Australia, it was like frustrating, but now we're already prepared. But I mean, that's not like answering the question.
But for me, the biggest con was probably sleeping comfort.
We're old people. We're old.
Like my back isn't that good anymore. Laura's back isn't that good anymore.
We sound so old now, guys, but
we're used to staying in very luxurious hotels with very plushy beds.
Oh my god, that sounds horrible. No, but we do love a good bed.
And another con for me was probably having all your valuables in the car.
Yeah.
Knowing that in certain parts of Italy especially, there are a lot of break-ins in cars.
Yeah, like in Pisa.
Like we decided to skip Pisa because of all the stories we heard about people breaking in your car.
So I think those are definitely the cons of van life. But on the other hand, the positive part, like the pros, are that you can just
there are too many pros.
Oh yeah, they're like a lot. The thing is, you are so free. You can go wherever you want. You can stop wherever you want. You can like extend your stay if you like it somewhere. It's like your house on wheels.
I mean, look at our trip. We were planning on doing Venice, the Dolomites at the end of our trip, but we stayed longer in other places because we loved it so much, which is something you can't really do if you stay at hotels, because most of the times you have to book your hotel a little bit in advance. So that's definitely a big positive of van life, is the freedom you get.
Exactly. How many persons can do an RV trip together? I think it's only a couple thing, and people can't do it in a group. Well, it depends on how big your RV is, of course.
Or it depends on how many RVs you have.
No, that person's talking
it's like
about
one RV?
In one RV, how many people fit? Like in here, they would fit, like, because there's like a top bed and you have like the bed here below that we used. So actually there could fit 2 people on top, but I would not recommend it.
I would, like, it's possible to do 2 adults and 2 kids, for example. We've seen 3 adults in a van like this.
Yeah, we've seen that.
I think 4 adults is stretching it.
But I mean, it's of course very personal. It is possible, but we would not like to do it because it's already such a small space.
4 people is stretching it.
I think so too.
3 I would be able to do it.
Yeah. Okay, then did the van fit in all of the roads? Did you have issues driving? So in Italy there are like a lot of narrow roads, like especially in Portofino and Amalfi. That's one of the reasons why in Amalfi we did not use our van and left it on the campsite, because the roads are way too narrow.
Even with a regular car, it's quite a stressy drive.
Yeah, it is. So like we said before, Kepi
fits everywhere. Yeah. Is it always like stress-free and hassle-free? No, it is not.
But in general, we did not have any like driving issues or anything.
Like I managed to put Kepi in every single parking spot as well.
Okay, there's like one little story. We were stuck in an underground parking.
It's not you're not stuck if you manage to get out.
Okay, you did get out, but it like it was very stressful. It was very stressful. Okay, next question.
So next question, how long do you book your campsites in advance? So we actually always book same day. I don't think we booked one campsite beforehand.
Yeah, but I think it also, like, now with COVID, there was not a lot of tourists. Like in high season normally, I think I would recommend you to book beforehand.
Yeah, so we can only say what we did, and that is around noon or like early afternoon we started looking at where we would be that day, like that evening, and we would look for campsites in that area, and then we would call the campsite or just drive up to the campsite.
Yeah, just make sure that you arrive there before like a certain hour. Most of the time it's like 7 p.m. or something, not later.
Like the bigger campsites are open 24/7 almost, like in the big cities like Rome. Smaller campsites, and then the campeggios and agriturismos that we did, most of them are open till 7 p.m. So make sure you at least call before 7 p.m. and they might stay open a bit longer if you're on your way, or just make sure you arrive before 7.
Yeah, like you can just like go to the campsite and reserve your spot before 7 p.m. It doesn't mean that you, in most of the campsite, it doesn't mean that you can't go out after. So so sometimes we just arrived at the campsite before 7 p.m., like booked our spot and everything, and then we still went out for like dinner with Kepi. So that's possible.
Dinner with
Kepi. Sounds weird. Okay.
Threesome.
Would you ever consider building your own camper van?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. To be very honest, I don't think I would do it in Europe. I don't know. It's probably because we are Europeans that we're like, we wouldn't do it in Europe because it's too boring. It's absolutely not boring. But I would like to do it like in Australia or the US, because I think, I don't know why, but just in the US or in Australia.
It's definitely something we would love to do.
Yeah.
Maybe not for multiple years, but like one year in a camper.
Yeah.
That seems really cool.
We would love that. Just like 1 year in a camper. But we would need a bigger van. If it was like our own, we would make sure that it's a bigger one than this one. Like one that probably has a shower inside, or like a toilet.
Toilet at least, yeah. This is perfect for a couple weeks, but I mean, to actually live in it,
no.
It would be a little too small, I think.
Exactly. But we'll keep you up to date if we ever decide on building our own camper van. Next one. That's just a short question. Is van traveling possible to move from country to country? Yes.
In Europe it is.
In Europe it is. We're not really sure about other countries and like borders and everything, but within Europe, it's super easy. You can just go from country to country. Okay, is it worth it as a solo traveler? Would you recommend it?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is, it's the same as staying in hostels. Staying in campsites, there are a lot of other people as well. You get to meet new people, so...
Yeah, like on campsites, it's always, like not everywhere, but in most of the places, you just start talking with other people. So it's very easy to meet others.
And what I like about van life as well is, as a solo traveler, you have your privacy.
Yeah, you have like
if you want to retreat to your own little space, that's perfectly possible inside your van, which you don't have in a hostel.
Yeah, true.
With a shared room.
Yeah. Somebody else, if it gets like a big mess because you cook in it, you sleep in it.
Okay. Are you going to answer that one?
Yeah. So sometimes it got very messy. But then at one point we were just like, okay, now we need to clean everything up. It all has to do with self-discipline. You just have to have discipline to clean up everything and keep everything tight. And just clean up immediately and don't because that's my problem.
I think the excessive clothing pieces was the problem.
But that is because it's our job.
Yes, but that was the problem. Like we wouldn't have a single problem if it was just cooking, sleeping, and walking around in cities. But the fact that we had so many different outfits and that we had to change multiple times a day made it more messy than it should have been.
So for normal people who don't bring excessive clothing, it's perfectly doable. It won't get a mess if you don't make it a mess. Just self-discipline, clean everything up. After you cooked, do the dishes, make sure everything's tidy. But that's the thing, you
have to do the dishes because otherwise you can't really leave it in the sink. Otherwise, once you start driving, everything will break and everything will fly away.
We came to the question, why do you call your van Kepi? So honestly, it's a Kepler. That's like the name. Well, You just explained that.
Kepler is the model. Westphalia is the brand, the make. It's a Kepler 6 because it fits 6 people.
What?
Yeah, normally you can put a second row of seats, but then you can't use it as a Kepler, but like you can fit 6 people in.
But okay, so Kepler, Kepi, you see? Very close to each other, and also because it's actually the name that the owner of this van, like the owner of Vanomobile, of the company, has given to this van.
Because he does a lot of camping trips with his kids, his son, yeah.
And his son calls it Kepi. So that's how we started calling it Kepi as well. That's it. Kepi. It's cute. Do you get claustrophobic?
No,
not at all. I can imagine for people thinking about sleeping in a van. I think some people think it's claustrophobic, but it's not at all.
No,
like you can also open the top here. You have these windows, so there's like constantly air flowing in. So
not claustrophobic at
absolutely all. Not at all. You exhausted from that camper trip. I saw you always waking up early, city tripping the entire day, go to bed late. I mean, that's not really.
It's not really camper van related, but
we are exhausted.
Yeah, but we would be just as exhausted if we would stay in hotels.
So that has nothing to do with the camper van thing. Like,
it's just that the early mornings and late evenings.
That just has to do with our job. I mean, even if we sleep in luxury hotels in the Maldives, we're just as exhausted. To be honest, it sounds weird, but it is. Oh yeah, somebody asked when we were in Australia, where did we rent a camper van? That was Travelers Auto Barn.
Highly recommend them.
Highly recommend it.
They are in the US now as well.
Yeah. It's a really good company. Would you rent again? And is it expensive to rent? And for the gas. So we are filming a full cost breakdown of our complete camper van trip. It will include the cost of renting the van, our daily life, like how much campsites cost and all that. So that will come up very shortly.
Food, restaurants, scooter rentals, everything will be included. So make sure to subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss out on that vlog. Make sure you hit the bell as well, so you'll get a little notification whenever that vlog goes live.
If you don't want to miss like the complete cost of everything.
I'm excited to film that
Me too, because we have no idea how much we spend. It's going to be crazy. Okay.
I think it will be crazy.
Okay, somebody asked, I don't know if it's like a similar question to the camping part, but can you park the van anywhere you want, or do you need like a permission for parking? So this van, you can just like park it in normal car space spots on a parking lot.
So a good example of that is we were in a town in Italy, and there was a parking lot, and you had to pay 4 euros if you were a car for the full day, or it was 10 euros if you were a camper.
Yeah.
And we only had to pay 4.
Yeah, so we're like seen as a car.
Which is cool.
Next question. How many hours do you drive each day?
I don't feel like we drove a lot on this trip.
Although we did, but
if you look at it, I think we did almost 7,000 kilometers in 30 days, which is like
30 days. It was 33 days.
Yeah, which is like 200 kilometers a day, which sounds quite a lot, because that's 2-3 hours per day in the car. But actually, if you know that we did 1,000 kilometers on the first day and more than 1,000 kilometers on the last day, it's fine. I think we didn't really drive that much.
No, it's okay. And also you can do this trip like over a longer period of time as well, of course, or you can make this trip shorter if you only have like 2 weeks or anything.
We mostly travel fast, so
yeah, we traveled quite fast. So.
Personally, I feel like we drove more when we did our road trip in the US, or when we did our trip in Australia.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Is there enough space to store everything? So there is enough space like for your luggage and everything. If you saw our Instagram stories, you know how much stuff we took, and we got a bunch of questions about it, like how do you bring all that stuff?
There is plenty of storage space.
Yeah, you don't
I think what I would do if we were just normally traveling, I would remove one of the back seats and I would take 2 bikes with us or 1 scooter.
That's true, yeah, actually, that's a good idea.
And put that in the back and we would have plenty of space.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, next question. Isn't it dangerous to leave a car with all that stuff inside while you're walking around?
Yes, it is.
It is. But we do have like these things that you can put in front of your
windshield to block out the sun.
Yeah, it's like to block
Is it
out
a windshield?
I have no idea what's it called.
So we had that. We had on the sides. We have in the back. We have curtains that we always
so you
close.
could not look inside.
So you couldn't see anything inside.
Anything. Like it's like completely blocked. You could not even look inside for like
not even like this.
No, you could not see anything. So I think that's also an advantage. And so we would highly recommend doing that for sure. Don't leave anything like inside. I mean inside, like from seeing. Like of course there's valuable inside. Okay, I'm so sorry. We always had like our camera with us, and sometimes when we felt like it was not in the safest spot, we took our hard drive with us because I mean for us that's like all our work on there, so that would be horrible to lose.
We did leave both our MacBooks
because
always
honestly
inside because we couldn't be bothered to take it with us.
Yeah, and also if that was stolen, for us personally, it's not as bad as when our hard drive gets stolen because the info on the hard drive is just
like the MacBook is just money.
It's just money.
The hard drive is much more than that.
It's much more money.
We are broke without a hard drive.
That's true. You don't have a bathroom, right? So, like I said, we do have a sink.
A toilet would have been nice. I saw Laura pee in the streets and in the woods way too many times on this trip.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay, guys, so that's actually it for questions. Like, all the other questions are cost related. We want to answer one question about the cost, though. How much a campsite costs, because I think that can be interesting for you guys already.
Yep.
So, a campsite, it really depends on like,
we paid anywhere.
The comfort you need as well.
Yeah.
And the place, location. Location.
So we paid anywhere in between 10 euros and 40 euros per night.
With electricity, with showers, with toilet.
I think for the 10 euro one, you didn't really have a shower. You had a lot of mosquitoes though.
Anywho guys, we hope this video was interesting and we hope that we answered most of your questions. If you do have any more questions, please just let us know, comment down below, or send us a DM via Instagram.
We would prefer a comment down below because we get lots of DMs on Instagram, but not many comments here on YouTube. And it would mean a lot to us if you guys could like this video as well, if you think it was interesting, and subscribe to our channel. Yeah, that would mean a lot to us. We're still in the beginning of our YouTube adventure, and it would be very helpful. I was going to say career. But that sounds a bit self-absorbed. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. I'm Nicholas. And I'm Lauren. Thank you for watching.